Self-Reg saves the day, or how to be a Self-Reg superhero. But Ramona, what is Self-Reg and why is it so important to me? Self-Reg is understanding that behavior is a result of negative stressors and not a choice to misbehave, becoming a stress detective and finding out what those stressors are, working to eliminate or alleviate those stressors, and helping the child learn to recognize their own stressors and be able to find calm on their own. What Self-Reg isn't? A program, am I right? There are 5 domains that students can experience stress. Biological, too much noise, crowds, too much visual stimulation, or not enough exercise. Emotional, strong emotions, both negative and positive, like anger and fear or just so overexcited. Difficulty processing certain kind of information in the cognitive domain. In the social domain, they might have difficulty picking up on social cues or understanding the effect of their behavior on others. In the prosocial, they have difficulty coping with other people's stress. But maybe an example would help. So let's imagine that you live in a small apartment with 5 quirky roommates. It's a bit crowded, so you all need to get along. In the biological domain, biological Bob is always complaining that the place is too hot or too cold. Then it's too bright, or he can't deal with how dark the place is, and the other guys are always playing their music too darn loud. Emotional Eddie is either distraught and crying his eyes out after watching an episode of This Is Us, and I mean who hasn't, or kicking in the TV after losing to you at Mario Kart. That's the emotional domain. Then there's Cognitive Cassie, who's all over the place because she just can't stay focused. She's got a craft going on the kitchen table, she has the fridge half clean and stuff all over the counter. Of course, she's making chili on the stove while microwaving last night's leftover pizza. That's the cognitive domain. Now, Social Sam, terrified of everyone in the apartment. Cognitive Cassie tried to make Social Sam's bed for her last week, and Sam was ready to call the cops or move to California. That's the social domain. Prosocial Pete gets upset every time anyone in the house is upset or hyper-aroused, and then he retreats to his room if anyone even looks at him without smiling. That's the prosocial domain. Wow, it's complete and utter chaos in this apartment. But what do? Well, you become a stress detective and you try to figure out what is stressing everyone out and do your best to fix it. But how? Use the 5 steps. Number 1, reframe the behavior. Number 2, recognize the stressors. Number 3, reduce the stress. Number 4, reflect. And number 5, respond. Meanwhile, back in that small apartment, you have a meeting about what the thermostat will be set at, and you find a comfortable medium for everyone. You install blinds on the windows, you ban Mario Kart for a while, and everyone plays board games together to learn about taking turns and being a good sportsman. Cassie gets a daily list of things to do, and she can't start the next task until the last one is finished. Social Sam needs you to softly explain what you're doing before you do it, and is working on understanding what emotions look like on the rest of his roomies' faces. You promise Prosocial Pete that you're available for a hug when it's needed, and you bring home a very sweet and calming self-support cat for him. You figure out the stressors like a good stress detective, and you help everybody co-regulate. Now, at first, the students, just like the roommates, really need your calm, soft eye approach. You're helping them co-regulate. But of course, the goal is always to help them recognize their own stressors and be able to self-regulate on their own without you. And you need to learn to self-regulate yourself too, because let's face it, we all struggle to stay regulated. Recognizing our own stressors and learning what we need for our own self-regulation is important for our own mental health as well. So, walk the dog, read a book, take some time for yourself, spend some time in nature. They're all good for you. Now, I've grossly oversimplified in my example, because in reality, self-regulation takes loads of practice. So go easy on yourself. Take it step by step, bit by bit. That's how you become a Self-Reg Superhero! So here are my sources, and thanks to a select few of you who I really enjoyed your elevator speeches and had influence on this video. But honestly, I've been learning from all the Self-Reg Superheroes in this course, student and facilitator. So thanks to you all.